So, early action today. We had game start at 5. We have 9 total. The Miami Heat and the Washington Wizards. One of the most intriguing matchups on the night because the Heat beat the Wizards on Thursday. Here is the rematch. Miami taking a trip up to the nation's capital. Jimmy Butler and Bradley Beal. Beal started the game red hot. 10 points in the first quarter. 4 for 4 from the field. But Jimmy Butler, the steady hand on the other end in the post, taking advantage of Denny Avdia. Beal, a team high 21, Sean.
Well, he hasn't really been shooting the ball well, but this game right now, he just sort of made a statement along with the Wizards.
Speaking of a statement, Miami goes on a 20-4 run. And Sean, the veterans on this Miami team know how to turn it up when necessary.
Kyle Lowry. Jimmy Butler, by the way, is having his best offensive season of his career, averaging 25 points, shooting 53%. Wow.
And it looked as if the Heat were running away with this, up 16 in the third, but Beal getting downhill. 21 points. Here's a Shaq and a fool moment, 3D. What's going on with Jimmy Butler here?
Well, I think Jimmy wanted to foul, but not get the foul. You see, I'd be like, hey, where you going, Jimmy? I didn't push you that hard.
Well, Tyler Hero's like, thank you. I wonder if Jimmy gets an assist on that play. On the baseline,
Ooh, nice
Butler,
fade away.
He had 29. That was a game high. But the Wizards making it a team affair in the fourth. KCP, the 3 and the free. 3D, what do you notice about Bradley Beal? 9 assists coming, 2 of those coming in big possessions in the fourth.
Well, that's what I've been most impressed with, the word trust. With so many new faces coming to the team, the roster's pretty much an overload, but Bradley Beal has early trust in his ball club.
One last chance for Miami, down by 3. Jimmy Butler! No. But hold on, there's still some time on the clock. One last bam!
Look how close.
Whoa!
Hey, wow. We've seen crazier things happen.
Full court, can you imagine if that went in? That would have been arguably the play of the year. Bradley Beal with his Olympic team teammate dapping it up. And again, congrats to Bam Adebayo, gold medal winner. Here is Bradley Beal following the win for the Wizards.
It wasn't easy. You know, we just stayed in the game. You know, we know it's a game of runs. We know how tough of a team Miami is, and they sent us a message last game. You know, they were more physical than we were. I think, what's his name, Gabe Vincent said something after the game that we didn't too much like. He called us soft, so we kind of took it a little personal tonight. You know, we want to make it a physical game because they're a physical team. We made a good run, man, and we closed it out, thank God.
I feel like you guys are allergic to 3-game streaks this year, losing streaks. You got some help, especially in that fourth quarter with Spence and KCP.
Most definitely, man. It was tough. I got to quit turning the dang on ball over. But it's awesome to be able to have teammates I can trust and be able to get the ball to and for them to make plays and make shots and keep us in the game and win us this game. So it was definitely big shots by big free throws by Kuzma in the stretch, big shots by Spence and KCP for sure, man.
So it's really interesting, several things that Bradley Beal said there, but statistically, KCP, Spencer Dinwiddie, 9 of the Wizards' 11 threes, 3D, and that was huge in the fourth quarter.
Well, the confidence for these guys coming together, like I said, through the highlight is really fun to watch because to me, all those guys have a chip on their shoulder because when you get bunched in a trade for one guy, you want to go improve your wealth. But just the fact that the ball movement, understanding the space, look at that good spacing. And people forget how good Spencer Dinwiddie was in Brooklyn, was possibly an all-star before the injury. So now when you get guys playing with confidence, they're willing to share and they're willing to create that spacing. Now look at that, KCP, that's a catch and shoot shot, something he's been shooting. Oh, by the way, he's a champion now too. So now he's bringing that type of moxie to Washington. And now you're saying to yourself, which guy is open, who is willing to share, who has the hot hand. Look how that ball went from one side of the floor back to the other, something we talk about every night. Sean, you know this, you've been around the game, and Chris, you've heard us preach this every night. When the ball goes from one side of the floor to the other, it makes the defense work, and now the defense gets lackadaisical, now gets a wide open 3 versus a contested 3, and we know the percentages go down.
So first-year head coach Wes Unseld Jr. doing an excellent job in Washington. We all agree on that. But, Sean, we were talking about this Wizards team and saying, contenders or pretenders, this new look and this new feel of the team. When you lose to a team like the Miami Heat, who we know are for real, they were in the championship just over a year ago. And if you're Washington, to be able to come back, you heard Brad talk about it a bit. Like, hey, they were talking trash about us. and to come back and get this win down by 16 in the third. What does that tell you?
Well, I think a lot of teams want to know, are they for real? I mean, they're in first place. Okay, fine. But if you go on a 3-game losing streak, all of a sudden you can go from first place to fifth place in a hurry. I think the Wizards' only previous statement win this year was against the Milwaukee Bucks, but the Bucks weren't at full strength. I think the Wizards had to prove a little bit to themselves, okay? Also to the city of Washington. You're starting to get the crowds back into the arena. They need to believe as well. Big win at home, get the crowds back. The way they came back from 15 points down, Trez, Kuzma, KCP, and Spencer Dinwiddie combined for 20 points in the fourth quarter. That means they're not over-relying on Bradley Beal to save them. I think, as you heard Bradley Beal say, he trusts his teammates. He can get them the ball, and you saw what they did in the fourth quarter.
Hey, you mentioned that when Brad said it because 3D, you perked up. This is your hometown team, man. And to hear Brad say that, why did that stand out to you?
It's the word trust. I mean, I say it again, and it's very similar to what the Lakers going through, Sean. You bring 8, 7, 8, 9 new faces to a locker room. The first thing is, can I trust you? Do you have my back on the defensive end? If I share the basketball, is it going to be the black hole? Or am I going to get it back? So that's why that last highlight/Higo we showed the fans at home, it showed you the ball went on one side of the floor. They explored, didn't see anything. They threw it back to the other side of the floor, and they get a wide open shot. And then late in the ball game, with a new team, normally that's a turnover. So the fact that you beat a team like Miami at home, you're right, the crowd back at home, people are talking. You know, you used to live in D.C. People are excited again because it's a fun team to watch. It's not one player. Bradley Beal may be the face of the team, but now he's showing his leadership by inviting these new teammates and letting them eat as well as they are right now early in the season.
Yeah, another team that got off to a slow start but really starting to pick things up. The Portland Trailblazers, winners of last 6 games, averaging 24, shooting 45% from the floor. So we can up that count and say that in the last 7 games, really finding his rhythm, 3D.
He is finding his rhythm, and the sad part about it, he has to have his rhythm, Sean, along with TJ, because when those two guys don't shoot the ball well, that's why they struggled early on, because there's nowhere else to really go to get points. And we know defensively, they have good and bad nights. That's not where they were their head at. So it's one of these things for the last, 4 or 5 years, that backcourt just has to shoot the ball well.
Yeah, they have to carry them. And it's interesting because Portland made some changes this summer, but really not to fortify the front line. This has been a backcourt-oriented team for since Dame has been there, pretty much?
Pretty much.
And the song remains
well, maybe
the same.
the first couple years, maybe they leaned on L.A. a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
First couple years, yeah.
But really, I mean, the last several years of this team after L.A. left, it's, you know, he's got to score.
Right.
And early this season, his shooting percentage was down, but you know Dame's not going to be down for long. And he's shown in the last few games that he can still be Dame time.
No, but I think we all realized that we were hoping more would come at this point in his career because we saw in the bubble he was lights out, all the great numbers, then obviously broke down a little bit. That's what concerns me a little bit again this season, that you lean on him so much early in the year, All-Star break comes, and now you're trying to make that push to try to stay out the play-in game, and I think it just may wear him down.
Yeah, and C.J. McCollum, really think about where Portland was last year because when he got injured, I mean, he was averaging, 27, 28 a game, making 5 threes a game. We see him this year making over 4 threes a game. He's now proven in consecutive or 3 or 4 seasons in a row that he's one of the best three-point makers in the league.
Oh, absolutely. And I wonder how much of his ability comes from playing off Dame. You know, Dame's getting a lot of the attention. CJ's getting a lot of open shots. What's curious about this game is they're playing the Sixers, and Portland was mentioned prominently as possibly a home for Ben Simmons. You know, you heard of C.J. McCollum's name being bandied about. So could that still be a possibility this season? Would Ben Simmons fit better with Portland if that trade were made, and C.J. McCollum fit better with Philadelphia? Defensively, obviously, they'd be giving up something.
Right.
But, I mean, right now, you know, look, CJ's playing well, Dame's playing well, Portland's playing better. But are they over the hump? Are they better than they were last year, the previous year? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, we're getting a sample size of what Philadelphia looks like without Ben Simmons as far as Tyrese Maxey in the backcourt. If you plug a player like C.J. McCollum, that does seem very dangerous.